going to be an absolute PR disaster for them. And unless they have no other choice, they're going to try and remain anonymous. However, I don't think that they're going to be able to do that. I think at some point, we're going to learn the identity of Celebrity B. If we learn the identity of Jay-Z, literally the most powerful man in hip-hop, even more powerful than Diddy, right? Then I think that we're going to end up knowing who Celebrity B is, unless, of course, Celebrity B enters into a settlement, which is also possible considering what we've seen here. Like, do you want to go through this if you're Celebrity B, or do you want to try and get out ahead of it and just, settle the lawsuit so you don't get your name dragged through the mud here, especially if you know that you have some complicity. So it's very interesting to see which way all of this is going to turn. And in this episode, we're going to dive into that topic and talk about Celebrity B a little bit more. And to do that, we have an article from Fox News and the headline, Jay-Z, Diddy accusations create mystery surrounding female Celebrity B. This article was authored by Tracy Wright. Questions surrounding the identity of Celebrity B remain after Jay-Z recently named in a Sean Diddy Combs sexual assault lawsuit. Initially, the lawsuit stated that Diddy raped the minor while Celebrity A and Celebrity B watched. Jay-Z, who was born as Sean Carter, was named as Celebrity A in the refiled lawsuit. The lawsuit was refiled Sunday in New York by an anonymous accuser claiming that Jay-Z raped her while Diddy and Celebrity B watched. Now, whoever Celebrity B is, they're running for the hills with their hair on fire right now. Can you imagine knowing that this is you and knowing what's coming down the pipe? And honestly, there's no good outcome for whoever Celebrity B is. Unless there's a payoff here, some sort of settlement, then we're going to end up learning who Celebrity B is at some point. And when Celebrity B is unmasked, people are going to have a lot of questions. And Celebrity B, well, they better have some answers. It remains to be seen who Celebrity B is, but criminal defense lawyer Julia Jane told Fox News Digital the woman is 100% lawyering up and probably reviewing a demand letter. And that's how the process works, right? Before you get sued, you get the demand letter from the people who are suing you, and you have a chance to work things out. That's what the lawsuit's all about in the first place. Getting you to settle for a sum of money that they find acceptable. So they always send a demand letter. And that's why when Jay-Z was acting like he was being extorted after getting the demand letter, well, it was laughable, right? You mean to tell me that Jay-Z's big-time law firm has no idea how this works? Of course they do. What they're looking to do is change the narrative. So what they hope comes of this is that people hear what's going on here and they think that Jay-Z is getting extorted and that there's no basis for him being part of this lawsuit. And that might work when you have a compliant media, but when you have a guerrilla media and when you have an independent media that demands answers, that's not going to work. That's not going to cut it anymore. So they're going to have to come up with a different narrative. They're going to have to come up with a different game plan. Because the course that they're on right now, well, that course is going to see Diddy end up doing at least 25 years. Because it's all fine and well to go on the attack. It's all fine and well to try and destroy the credibility of the people who are accusing you, and that's expected. But when you're hyper-aggressive and you're going after people's families and you're intimidating people, and especially if you're offering to pay people, like we heard from Tony Busby, then you're going to find yourself in big trouble with the court. And this tactic that Jay-Z is using is the same exact tactic that Ghislaine Maxwell tried, and it blew up directly in her face. And I see the same exact thing happening here for Jay-Z, especially if and when more people come forward saying that they were abused by him. The accuser claimed a female celebrity stood by and watched as Combs and Carter took turns assaulting the minor at an after-party following the 2000 MTV VMAs, according to documents obtained by Fox News Digital. Plaintiff was held down by Carter as he vaginally raped her while Combs and Celebrity B watched. Now, if this is true, imagine what kind of scumbag you have to be to sit around and watch somebody get assaulted. Like, there's a next level of scumbag, and you're it. And you're the kind of person that should be on that helicopter ride to the volcano. Because anybody who's capable of sitting around and watching some shit like that go down and not acting is almost as culpable, in my opinion, as the person who's engaging in the abuse. And the only way to truly hold people to account is to make sure that all the enablers who were involved here, who were helping with the abuse especially, that all of them face charges as well. Because if not, this is a failed prosecution, because there's no way that there aren't more people involved. Now, the caveat to that is, I'm sure that there's a lot of unindicted co-conspirators who are working behind the scenes with the government. Brendan Paul, Christina Coram, Moy Bond, all these people that were in Diddy's inner circle that allegedly knew the deal. So I'm guessing all of them got proffered, signed a 302, and they're working with the government. And when it comes time for trial, I'm guessing some of them at the very least are going to testify against Diddy. And when that happens, and you have all the other evidence already that's been collected, and then you have people that were on the inside come and corroborate it, it's big trouble for you, and usually ends up with you being convicted and going to prison for the rest of your life. Jane noted that Celebrity B would likely not come forward, as it would then drag that celebrity's name through the mud. Well, I think that celebrity is screwed, because the name is going to come public one way or the other unless they pay out the settlement. Then if they pay out the settlement, then there'll be paperwork that everybody signs and a confidentiality order where they don't talk about the suit. But short of that, this person is going to be unmasked. Likely that celebrity's name will come out, but no celebrity wants to be associated with this case. Even as a witness, Jane said, it would be negative publicity. Well, there's no doubt about that, unless you're Jay-Z, of course, because the NFL has already announced that there's not going to be any problems for Jay-Z. They're going to keep their business relationship with him, and things are just going to keep moving swimmingly. And when I heard Roger Goodell say that, I just shook my head. This is going to come back and smack the NFL directly in the face. Mark my words. Oleg Nekridin, a defense attorney at the law offices of Robert J. DeGroot, told Fox News Digital that most attorneys will advise the celebrity that they have to fight like hell, first quietly, then if named, loudly. Being accused of aiding and abetting or participating in a sexual assault of a minor is terrible for one's reputation and career, Nekridin said. Talk about understatement of the century. Like the worst thing you can be associated with, in my opinion. You're better off being a murderer. You're out here diddling little kids, raping women, attacking the vulnerable. Yeah, you're the worst of the worst, in my opinion. There's no rehabilitation for that. Whereas you have somebody who might have killed somebody in an altercation, maybe they can be rehabilitated, right? It was a moment of anger. They can go get anger classes, anger management, whatever it might be. But there's no sort of therapy to make you stop being a predator. This is who you are. And it doesn't matter how long the jail sentence is. How many times do we see it? One of these predators go to prison for a long time, they get out, and do the same exact thing once they're free. So as far as I'm concerned, if you show these tendencies and you're a violent abuser, underneath the jail and forgotten about. I don't understand why it's so difficult and why people like this continue to get out of jail. He added that there will be no chance of this celebrity cooperating with the plaintiff unless there's strong proof of the celebrity's misconduct. So I highly doubt that this celebrity is going to play ball. I think that the most we'll see here, maybe, is some kind of settlement. But even then, they're dealing with very dangerous ground. Because if it comes out that you settled with somebody, people are going to have questions, right? Criminal defense lawyer Lauren Johnson Norris noted that the identity of Celebrity B may have already been determined. Any celebrity witness has consulted with a lawyer by now about this case. Johnson Norris told Fox News Digital, "We can only guess to the extent Celebrity B has been interviewed by the plaintiff or if Celebrity B is already cooperating with the plaintiff's team. It's to be seen if Celebrity B will say she was there on her own free will or if she was a victim as well." Which is very possible. You got to keep that in mind. But even if she says that, it has to be parsed through with a fine-tooth comb. You have to know the truth of the matter, right? Was she an abuser or was she being abused? And my guess is that Celebrity B here wasn't being abused. One day after the Run This Town rapper was implicated in sexual assault case, Jay-Z filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit, according to documents obtained by Fox News Digital. He also requested that the court deny the plaintiff's request to proceed anonymously. And considering the way that people are acting already about Jay-Z, his legion of fans and shit, if I was somebody accusing him, I'd want to remain anonymous as well. And I think that the judge here is probably going to acquiesce to that request, considering all the publicity and considering How the Jay-Z stans are acting? Yeah, I would say that if I'm the judge, I'd be granting that motion for anonymity. Jay-Z's powerhouse lawyer, Alex Spiro, most recently represented Alec Baldwin in his involuntary manslaughter trial. The Empire State of Mind musician denied the allegations and accused Texas-based lawyer Tony Busby of blackmail in a statement made through his Rock Nation banner. So you're dragging Rock Nation into this, huh? This guy just doesn't get it. Jay-Z's one of them dudes that's never been told no ever in his life, basically, has done whatever he's wanted, to whoever he's wanted, and never faced any sort of backlash, no sort of repercussions. Well, my friend, the karma train has left the station with a scheduled stop at your residence. Busby fired back in a statement shared on X, stating his client never asked for money. Diddy was charged with racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution in a federal indictment unsealed on September 17th. Authorities allege Diddy ran a criminal enterprise through his businesses, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global, among others. He used firearms, threats of violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse to fulfill his sexual desires, according to the unsealed indictment obtained by Fox News Digital. Freak-offs were elaborate, produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded, according to the indictment. Diddy and his staff allegedly transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally for the freak-offs, which regularly occurred and sometimes lasted multiple days, including multiple sex workers, the indictment said. While the Last Night singer has maintained his innocence, if found guilty, he faces a minimum of 15 years behind bars or a maximum sentence of life in prison. Judge Aaron Subramanian scheduled Combs' trial to begin on May 5th. The prosecution expects the government's case to take 3 weeks to lay out, while Combs' legal team estimated needing 1 week to argue the rapper's defenses. So things continue to move, and they're moving even quicker behind the scenes, because there's a lot going on that we're not privy to. I'm sure that there's some settlement offers. I'm sure that there's other people that have been dragged into this that are going to be very, very high profile. The question is, how many of those people are going to be unmasked and have their identities made public? But for me, if Jay-Z was unmasked, that means that anybody could be. And when Celebrity B finally has her mask pulled off, we'll get that added to the catalog. But until then, that's going to do it for this one. All of the information that goes with this episode can be found in the description box.